Welcome to another edition of Northern Heat, and today our special guest is Adam Kinney. And Adam, listen, let's just talk a little bit about, we're sitting in your woodworking shop here, and you've started a little bit of a business. So, you went away and studied, and you decided to come back home. Why did you come back home to Bathurst, and why did you start a little business?
Well, I always loved Bathurst, and when I first moved away to go to university, I wasn't sure if I was going to come back or not. So I'd spent a few years in Antigonish at St. FX, 4 years there, and in that time I always thought maybe I was going to move to a city somewhere or something. And through my university experience, I got to spend more time around larger metropolitan centers. I got to travel some, and the more further I went away from home, the more I realized how much it had to offer and how much I loved it here. So in my third year of university, I was studying for exams at Christmas time, and I was watching a lot of videos when I was procrastinating on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I ended up starting with something on chainsaws, I think. And you just kind of go down the rabbit hole from there. And it went from saws to wood and eventually woodworking. So I first was watching a lot of videos on birdhouses, and I thought, this is kind of cool, maybe I'll give that a try someday. And my exam season finished, I came home. Christmas time's here, I need a gift for my mother. I thought, well, maybe I could make her something. So I went around to all the different houses in the neighborhood, gathered up a few tools from all the neighbors, and made my first cutting board then and there.
So this wasn't a hobby of yours when you were a kid?
Not at all. I could barely use a drill when I went away from Bathurst. And I kind of picked it up myself online and learned that I really liked it. And as I was nearing the end of my degree, I thought, maybe this could be fun. Give it a try, see where it goes. Because in my fourth year of university, I'd started making the boards ahead of time, stashing them away, and then selling them through the year while I was at school.
Okay.
So I'd get orders from people, and I'd say, okay, next time I'm home, I'll come and see you with some stuff, and you can pick and choose what you want. So I kind of learned from that there might be something to it. Maybe with some promotion and marketing, there might be a market there in the Chaleur region.
So you created a business, you were able to come home to start with, right? And now you've created your own little business here. So you're cutting boards and a bunch of other things. And I see you have some product over here that show me what you got here. And so you got cutting boards. You got your own little logo in there, a nutshell. And so how are you selling these?
Mostly I started selling them just online through social media. And from there, I kind of expanded out, and I was very, very lucky to get in at Catherine & Company with Kathy McLaughlin.
Okay.
And that was a big first step for me. It was the first real step towards, hey, maybe there's something here. And from there, I've expanded, and I just keep adding to more locations and finding more clients. And at this point, I've got some good repeat business, and thanks to my customers, I'm able to keep pretty busy.
Well, and again, and the reason why we do a lot of these interviews is to show that there's things can be done in our region. You've lived away for a bit, recognized that you come back home. You started working on something that it doesn't always necessarily come from an opportunity, but it came from a passion, making something for your mom for Christmas, and then turns into a business. It's just amazing to hear.
Yeah, it was just step by step. I started in the basement at home, and eventually I moved into one of the salt sheds here and was building them in there in the summer season when there's less salt.
Yeah.
Stuff doesn't rust as much.
Yeah.
And then I ended up moving into this little shed, which is 11 by 18.
Well, hey, you got to start somewhere, right? So you start in the basement, you've worked your way through, you've got some equipment here, and you're working in this shop, and you're here every day.
Yep, every day.
It's amazing.
In and out steady, but
yeah,
I'm here.
Yeah. And the other thing too, before we go further, and this is for the people that watch us, I've shrunk. You told me you were setting me up in the chair. I can, it makes you think whether or not you work here all day or whether or not you just relax. But
well, you need to have a comfortable chair if you're going to have a wood shop. It's part of the whole.
Yeah, it's the red-green effect.
Exactly.
Yeah. So people are going to look at this. This Adam kid is huge compared to Bob. But you are a good size, but so am I. But you set me up here to sit down in the bottom of the chair.
Let me sink right in and relax.
Let me sink right in and relax.
Get you off your feet for a couple hours.
Well, there we go. So listen, I really appreciate you doing this interview with me today, and the fact of again demonstrating that if you've got a passion, you've got something that you want to do, you can start a business. You can make a living in our region, and you can do things that you like to do. And thanks again for wanting to come back and wanting to do something.
There's plenty of opportunity out there.
Way to go. So there we are. Somebody else from Northern New Brunswick turning on the heat.